it so happened before, no, we think we just have one brain, ba? But now we actually know we have two brains, one in here and the other is down here. You have neurotransmitters that are produced in the gut that influence your brain, and likewise what happens in the brain also influences what's happening in the stomach. And I'll just give you an example on a simple illustration on how it goes. So for example, you are a person who does not like public speaking, and then suddenly you're asked to stand on stage and to speak to 1,000 people. But you feel the butterflies in the stomach. Okay? That's your gut brain talking to your brain up here. And that sort of illustrates the connection. Apparently also, you have neurotransmitters that we used to think they were produced in the nerves of your brain. But they're actually neurotransmitters that are produced by the bacteria inside your digestive tract. And there are trillions of them. There are many neurotransmitters. And for example, an overabundance or a lack of these neurotransmitters can have an effect on your brain, on your mood, on your emotions. A balanced gut, ibig sabihin, equal yung mga bacteria, you have abundance of good bacteria. You also have bad bacteria, but they are under control or under the influence of the good bacteria. When you're balanced, you have the neurotransmitters balanced also, and it gives you a sense of calmness and balance. When you have an imbalance, we call it a dysbiosis. So you also have an overabundance or a lack of certain neurotransmitters. The gut-brain, hindi lang siya one way, it's two ways. And the important nerve here is what we call the vagus nerve. So siya yung parang superhighway natin that connects the gut and the brain. So when there's dysbiosis, diba, you liken it to a spiral. Let's start with simple stomach upset, nag-diarrhea ka. You feel sick, you feel anxious about it. The anxiety also trickles down to your gut and causes another bad effect, which also makes you feel worse than before. So it's a cycle. It's a downward cycle. So dyan mo makikita yung interconnectedness nila, that they can affect one another. And what's important is a balance between the two. Five ways to address it. So let's start with diet, okay? And syempre madali lang sabihin eating right, pero what does it mean to eat right? And what we know so far is eating fermented food. Okay, when you say fermented food, like kimchi, mga gata, yogurt, okay, they provide us good bacteria. So if you're not eating your vegetables, you're very particular about your diet na you're eating one thing exclusively rather than being, we're omnivores, so we eat everything. So there will be an imbalance there, okay? So it would not be surprising if your diet is so restricted, you would experience mental struggles. The second one is exercise, okay? So, for example, like mindfulness exercises, yoga, it relaxes you. So when you calm the mind, you also calm down the mind. Exercise itself releases these hormones that make you happy. Third is social connections. Okay? And social connections, when you eat together, diba, you actually share your bacteria together. Especially when we food. So that diversity of experience, because we interact with other people, it helps our gut health also. Another one is if it's something that is not addressed by these simple measures, you have professionals to help. One thing that you also need for good gut health is sleep. Okay? And sleep differs kasi for each person. but it has to be a good type of sleep that is at least 7 to 9 hours per night. Okay, so that can also help with gut health. We started this conversation thinking we only have one brain, and now that you know that we have two, and because it's two, it needs to be balanced. Okay, so balancing it, you need to have a good mind, a rested mind, mindful, yoga, exercising. You also put the other side of the equation. You have to eat well, and if there's this imbalance going on, please see us. Let's talk.